My name is Anuj. Moved to Sydney in about 2018, and I'm into the IT field. I work for an organization as a project director. So, Investor's Dream actually was a recommendation from a friend of mine, and again, we were both me and my wife. We were keen to invest in the Australian property segment, as it's very popular and wealth creation tool. And one of our friends had worked with Sanjeev, his whole team, Investors Dream as a whole, and came with very, amazing recommendations. And he had already bought two investment properties with Investors Dream. All good things to talk about Sanjeev, and not just Sanjeev himself, just his whole team altogether. The education aspect, the connections that Sanjeev had, and the holistic approach towards buying an investment property, and what are the benefits, short term, long term, and especially the focus on the knowledge gain on what this property investment all about. So that is where it was like a no-brainer given the recommendation. And we also did some research. We looked at the other testimonial videos, we looked at the website, and people had amazing reviews, and just lined up perfectly. So that was the case for us. Look, the experience has been absolutely amazing given that we were able to procure two investment properties in about 12 months. And, people would already know there's no dearth of buyer's agents in Australia as a market. There are many people who offer the services. But the best thing that stood out for us when we dealt with Sanjeev and again his team was that the approach was not transactional. It didn't feel like Sanjeev was pushing a particular property and pushing us to make the transaction, and then we pay the fees and then he goes away and everything. It never felt like that. From day one, Sanjeev's focus was, again, like I said before, gain the knowledge, apply yourself. What kind of factors do we need to take into account when we are going for an investment property? Also, not being able to actually visit an investment property and still being able to make that decision was a big hurdle to cross for us. But then Sanjeev was convincing in everything that he said. All the details that Sanjeev shared about the suburb, the locality, why this particular property, what is the growth prospect, what is the vacancy rate in that particular suburb, why does it make sense to go with this kind of property, the whole package. And couple that with Sanjeev introducing us to the property manager, to the solicitor, even the mortgage broker, and for that matter, even building and pest inspection. Again, that was a big part. And it's not just that the building and pest inspection is done for the property, report comes back, and Sanjeev would hand over the report to us. No, he also helped us, used his experience, his vast experience in property, in investment properties, and helps us navigate to read through the building and pest inspection. Because as a first-time investor, I was very, concerned about looking at each and every detail of the building and pest inspection. But that's where the experience comes in. With experience, he was able to tell us, what are the things that we should be actually worried about, and what are the things that are normal, part of a normal wear and tear of a property if a property is 10 years old and something like that. So that constant hand holding, right from day one until settlement, and even post settlement, checking in how the property is doing, is everything okay? Hands down, absolutely amazing experience. Couldn't recommend Sanjeev more. Absolutely, no doubt about it. Look, there are two ways to go about it, and again, it comes down to people, right? But if you don't want to put in the effort, if you don't have the time to put in the effort, I'm not saying that it's impossible to secure an investment property without using a buyer's agent service, but then there is a lot of effort, lot of time that you need to put into it. And people do it, right? That's fine. But in our case, we were time poor. We and given the recommendations that Sanjeev and his team came with, it was worth the investment. Absolutely, we knew what are the rates that Sanjeev is going to charge, and if we compare that with the properties that we have been able to acquire, one of them has already gathered equity already, and again, our focus is long term, wealth creation, trying to hold on to the properties as much as possible. Given the context of that benefit, absolutely worth it to use Investors Dream and Sanjeev services, no doubt. I can't say no. After saying all of these good things, there is no way I can say no. So it's hands down, hands down. I mean, if anyone would come to me and say, Anuj, and if they know that we have investment property and they're looking for guidance, no doubt about recommending Sanjeev and Investors Dream for their whole package. Absolutely wonderful, and I know that we are ourselves going to potentially, hopefully, buy more properties in the future, dealing with Sanjeev again and again, for sure.